Warrior means Sukuna will die to Yuji Itadori, and this time is with a bang. Jujutsu Kaisen is coming up to the end of the series, and Sukuna looks like an unstoppable force. He has taken out Gojo Satoru, he has taken out Kashimo, and it looks like he's about to try and take out everyone in front of him, with his new transformation being broken as hell. And if we're being honest, it seems like even Gojo Satoru had no chance against this new transformation Sukuna, and yeah, that is a problem. But Yuji Itadori has given us some hope. He is coming into the mix to fight against Sukuna, and exactly how would he be able to beat him? That's what we're going to talk about. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and let's see how Yuji Itadori saves Jujutsu Kaisen. So, Sukuna has actually done quite a lot of damage to the people in Jujutsu Kaisen. Not only was he able to beat the Gojo Satoru that we all knew and loved, and he was now declared the strongest, he also takes down Kashimo. But the way he takes down Kashimo is with all disrespect. Kashimo was known to have this amount of speed, like a crazy amount of speed, to the point where Sukuna couldn't react. But this was a Sukuna with one eye open and one eye closed, beaten up from this Gojo fight and also losing an entire left arm. After this occurred, you believe that, Kashimo with his curse technique might not get no diffed by Sukuna. But boy oh boy, how wrong I was. Because really and truly, Kashimo stood zero chance. Now, Sukuna has a move that is able to cut space, and this move is able to be used to this day. So that means that although we thought that Sukuna was going to be able to do that move and not be able to spam it the whole time, because cutting space is literally broken, as Angel said before, if we show him, he'll be able to do it again and he'll know what to do. And it seems like he can do it all the time now, because against Kashimo, that is what he's done. So he used his hand only to fight against Kashimo. Although he used his enchantment, which he probably has the strongest enchantment because he has multiple mouths and his body was quote unquote perfect. He had a lot of versatility to be able to get the weapons he desires and to fight how he desires as well. And that is why Kashimo got beaten in hand-to-hand combat. Although his speed was literally unmatched just a chapter ago, you can see that Sukuna, when it comes to speed, that's not even a problem at all. And he was able to cleave Kashimo to death. Yeah, bye bye Kashimo. But the most interesting part is how Yuji Itadori will be able to overcome this monster that has killed two of the strongest people within their own era. But guys, this is Jujutsu Kaisen. You have to realize that when people fight, especially Yuji Itadori, is never a 1v1. So what he's decided to do is come with Higuruma, who obviously, as we know, Higuruma is one of the characters that he fought against earlier on in the series. And the one thing that Higuruma is really good at doing is using his domain expansion to beat you in court. Now, what happens when you lose in court to Higuruma? If you do not remember, what he does is that he takes away your curse technique, render it completely useless, so then he able to get a weapon to be able to fight you. Sukuna in this case has done a lot of war crimes, but hear me out. You have to realize, Higuruma using this domain expansion against Sukuna, we can get a high-end era backstory potentially. The reason this is the case is because if you're going to be talking about Sukuna's past crimes, we can see everything that Sukuna has ever done and what massacres he's committed. Because definitely, Higuruma is going to use the Executioner Blade, which if it touches you, you die. Without the curse technique, Sukuna can do no more dimension slashes, which will automatically kill these people. But what I will say, which is very dangerous, is the fact that Sukuna will still be able to use his Varya because it's not a curse technique, and he will be able to use his staff, which, as we've seen, he doesn't even need both of them because he was able to no-diff Kashimo with just pure hands. So really and truly, Sukuna is going to be fighting Yuji and Higuruma with no curse technique. And I think that would be much more of a fair fight. But this is not the only thing that's different. Yuji Itadori has now obtained a move that we have said from the beginning of the series will become apparent, and that move being cleave. Now you're probably wondering, how do you know that Yuji Itadori has now got the curse technique that Gojo was talking about all this time? Well, if you look at Yuji Itadori's hands, number one, his pinky has returned. This could be because he got a reverse curse technique from some of the cursed rooms that he's eaten of Choso's brothers, or it could be the fact that Shoko was able to heal it. But as you can see in chapter 222, you still see his pinky is still missing. But over here, it looks like it might have just come back. So this is going to be a very interesting one. So yes, as I said, the way that he's gotten Sukuna's curse technique is because you could tell from the fingers. If you look at any time that Sukuna has used Yuji's body especially around the beginning, you can see his fingertips always increased and he got claws. This is similar to what he uses when he uses cleave. So that means Yuji Itadori has been able to adopt the ability of cleave to be able to fight against Sukuna. This is the curse technique that has been foreshadowed to be used, and the fact that his pinky seems to have come back, now we know that Yuji Itadori is a completely different person. I mean, we already knew that from when he was fighting Kusakabe anyway. So then that means that Higuruma would be able to take the curse technique of Sukuna away, and obviously this is Yuji trying to get revenge for what Sukuna has done against Satoru Gojo. A lot of you have said Satoru Gojo might still be alive, but let's face it, it looked like he's over. And Yuta Okotsu actually didn't end up joining the battle like I thought he would. This instead was Yuji Itadori coming in because he wants to be able to fight this character. Now, what else is an advantage to Yuji Itadori that we haven't mentioned yet? And that is the fact that he is soaked in Sukuna's cursed energy. This means that Sukuna would be able to fight a Yuji Itadori that is pretty much his bogey character. This is going to be a case where Sukuna would do something to Yuji Itadori and it wouldn't hurt Yuji as much as he would think. That is because he is soaked in Sukuna's cursed energy, and as I mentioned in the past, Gojo Satoru was hit with his own cursed energy, the Hollow Purple, and it didn't do that much damage to him. In fact, he was injured, but just not as much as Sukuna. This will be able to be used in this instance, because when Sukuna is using the cursed energy to try and fight against Yuji Itadori, we are definitely going to see Yuji Itadori tanking a lot of his attacks. Some things that maybe if it was someone else they might be dead, but it seems that Sukuna will be able to hurt Yuji, but not as much as he would desire. This then leads the question, what exactly happened to Yuji Itadori's arm? What did he learn in the soul swap? And how on earth did Yuji Itadori even get there? The only thing in my mind to the reason why Yuji Itadori is there is because of Yu. Yu is the only one that can teleport, and this would be the only reason Yuji was able to come in an intense moment, especially after Sukuna has just fought Kashimo. This is definitely one of the chapters for the ages, because it shows that this is the beginning of Yuji Itadori versus Sukuna. And I really fear for him, even though I believe Sukuna will lose to Yuji in one way or another. We do have to fear for Yuji a little bit here, because Sukuna at the moment, I don't understand how he could lose. Besides his curse technique, he still has his weapons, his curse tools to his disposal, meaning that temporarily taking away his curse technique can only do so much. So Higuruma really truly has to get hard carried, and by any means Yuji Itadori has to do everything in his power for Higuruma not to die. This tag team could be generational, but the only issue would be that Sukuna might be too much for them and they might need more people. But when it's Yuji Itadori, as we all know, if it's pain, it won't stop him. Thank you for watching my video. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a like. Watch the video here, it's a banger. And as I say to the new and old people that come and visit my channel, Jana.